Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Shiv Kumar News. Here I am only reading the Hindu newspaper. My purpose aim is improving my knowledge and English only. Nothing else. Therefore, please support and guide me. This is our first article. Ukraine agreed to a 30-day ceasefire with Russia during talks with senior USA officials. Signs of peace. The US and Ukraine delegation attend a meeting hosted by Saudi Arabia in Jeddah on Tuesday. Agency France Press, Jeddah, Ukraine on Tuesday backed a USA proposal for a 30-day general ceasefire with Russia, with the United States in turn agreeing to life restriction on military and intelligence sharing, a joint statement said. After talk in Saudi Arabia, the two sides also agreed to conclude as soon as possible a deal on Ukrainian minerals, the statement said. Ukraine expressed readiness to accept the USA proposal to enact an immediate interim 30-day ceasefire, which can be extended by mutual agreement of the parties and which is subjected to acceptance and concurrent implementations by the Russian Federation, a joint statement said. After the talk, the United States will communicate to Russia that Russian reciprocity is the key to achieving peace, it added. The US administration imposed the measure a week ago to push Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to enter talks to end the war with invading Russia forces. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said the USA would present the ceasefire offer to the Kremlin. The announcement emerged as a senior official from Ukraine and the United States opened talk in Saudi Arabia, focus on ending Moscow 3-year war against Kiev and hours after Russia shot down over 300 Ukrainian drones. President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to travel later this week to Moscow, where he could meet the Russian President Vladimir Putin, according to a person familiar with the matter but not authorized to comment publicly with AP inputs. Many feared dead hundreds held hostage after train attack in Pakistan. Train siege Jafar Express traveling from Quetta to Peshawar came under gunfire. The train carried approximately 450 passengers across 9 coaches. The Baluch Liberation Army BLA claimed it derailed the train and took hostage the drivers of train, a police officer and soldier were killed while 80 hostages have been freed. Picture used for representative purpose. Getting image. Agency France Press much Pakistani troops freed dozens of train passengers taken hostage by armed militants in the country's southwest on Tuesday, with hundreds more still being held in the deadly siege. Security sources said that the heavy gunfire was ongoing between security forces and militants. The drivers of the train, a police officer and a soldier, were killed in the assault, according to paramedic Nazim Farouk and railway official Muhammad Aslam, both at much railway station. Gunmen forced the train to halt in a remote mountainous area of Baluchistan province on Tuesday afternoon, with the assault immediately claimed by the Baluch Liberation Army BLA, a separatist group behind rising violence in the province which border Afghanistan and Iraq. The Jafar Express had left Quetta for Peshawar in northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Security forces have freed 80 hostages, including 43 men, 26 women, 11 children from the terrorist. Security sources are adding that 13 militants had been killed. Efforts are ongoing to ensure the safe release of the remaining passengers. The terrorists have been surrounded, and the operations will continue until the last terrorist is neutralized. Earlier in the day, Muhammad Kasif, a senior railways government official in Quetta, the capital of the province, said that over 450 passengers on board are being held hostage by gunmen. In a statement, the BLA said gunmen bombed the railway track before storming aboard the train. The group warned of severe consequences if an attempt is made to rescue the hostages. So, guys, this is our first editorial. More signs of overhauling the compliance framework. Article written by A.S. Mittal, is Vice Chairman, Punjab Economic Policy and Planning Board. The use of the compliance provisions to extract bribery and the frequency of compliance update are challenged. The Indian business faces. Despite concerted effort to combat corruption, nepotism and bribery remain formidable barrier to business growth in India. A recent India Business Corporation Survey 2024 presents a troubling picture. 66% of the business entity admit to paying bribe, with 54% stating they were coerced to expedite the government process, obtain permit, ensure compliance, or acquire duplicate license. The problem is most acute in sector governed by overreaching official in labor, goods and service tax, GST, income tax, property registration, drug and health department. The economic impact is undeniable. A survey by FICCI show that 4 out of 5 respondents believe corruption is a significant deterrent to foreign direct investment (FDI). This underscores the urgent need to overhaul India's compliance framework to foster a transparent, fair, and predictable regulatory environment. While the government initiated compliance reform 2 years ago, progress has been sluggish. The Jan Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Act 2023 was a step forward, discriminating 180 provisions related to imprisonment clauses that burden business and entrepreneurs. However, Budget 2025 that was presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced a Jan Vishwas 2.0, which aims to further discriminalize around 100 provisions. While this is a welcome step, it barely scratches the surface. Over 20,000 provisions with imprisonment clauses remain untouched. The constant flux of compliance rules for Indian businesses, compliance is already a complex challenge, but its interactions with corruption make it nearly insurmountable. Regulatory officials often while compliance provisions as tools to extract bribe, many business report that unofficial payments are still required to secure regulatory approvals even when all the necessary compliances are made. A significant flaw in the system is the enormous subjective granted to inspectors who can threaten imprisonment or factory shutdown without accountability. Another pressing issue is the overwhelming frequency of the compliances update, which foster inefficiency and corruption. Over the past year alone, there have been 9,420 compliances updated, an average of 36 daily changes. The staggering rate of the change indicates either regulatory incompetence or deliberate design to create systematic corruption pipeline. A bureaucracy that need to update rules at such as erratic pace is either incapable or of foresight or complicit in fostering environment where bribes become inevitable. The recent directive by the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India (FSSAI) is promising initiative to curb this fact. Chows effective this January. Changes to food labor regulation will be announced only once a year, offering a model for predictable regulatory changes. Similar measures should be extended across all regulatory bodies. A significant portion of compliance related to imprisonment clauses stem from labor law, which fall under the concurrent list of the Constitution. While India has replaced 29 colonial era labor law with 4 modern labor codes, they remain in limbo, awaiting implementation. Without this critical step, the long route is biggest labor reform in independent India remains mere rhetoric. State government must act swiftly to operationalize this reform. Have a digital first approach. Establishing a factory in India requires submitting hundreds of the self-arrested and notarized documents across more than 40 government departments. This archaic system breeds corruption and inefficiency. A digital first approach could transform the process, imagining a scenario where entrepreneurs can apply for factory permission using a single business identifier, granting regulator has to verify document using an entity called a DigiLocker. Such a tamper-proof, authentic repository could be cut approvals time from months to days, mirroring the such of India's Digi Yatra in streamlining airport security. India's digital public infrastructure (DPI) has revolutionized governance, but business compliance remains fragmented. Entrepreneurs must navigate at least 23 identity number issued by the various union and state authority, from permanent account number PAN, a goods center service say tax identification number GST in, and the corporate identification number CIN to professional tax number and factory license. Each identifier has its life cycle requiring periodic renewals and payment, leading to inefficiency and corruption. A unified one nation one business identity system could dramatically simplify compliance, reducing bureaucratic friction and the opportunity for corrupt practices. A small budgetary allocation toward this initiative could streamline regulatory interaction, enhancing India's appeal as a business destination. A global perspective. The global competitions for investment and talent in is intensifying. The United States is advancing governance reform, including its Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE), to make business operations seamless. If the world's largest economy (GDP 27.27 trillion dollar) become even more business friendly, why would investors choose India, a 40 trillion economy, $40 trillion economy, where red tape and corruption persist? The answer is simple: they will not. As American efficiency attract global capital, India risks losing out on both investment and entrepreneurial talent, a fundamental driver out of its knowledge and economy. The time for compliance is over. What was an opportunity yesterday is an urgent necessity now. Though, to sustain its economic momentum, India must dismantle bureaucratic hurdles, create a predictable compliance environment, and eradicate corruption. A clear, well-structured compliance framework ushered in through the Jan Vishwa 2.0 is not just about ease of doing business; it is about safeguarding India's economic future. The government must act decisively to attract global companies and empower India's entrepreneurs to innovate, expand, and create jobs without fear or unnecessary regulatory friction. India stands at a crossroad where the high-level committee for regulatory reform embrace a hold, compliance overhaul, or hesitate. Stakes are high. The choice is clear: modernize or risk being left behind in the global economic race. The view expressed are personal. New opportunity. India and Canada can discuss a reset in ties after a new Prime Minister takes over. The newly elected leaders of Canada's ruling Liberal Party, Mark Carney, who is now the Prime Minister designator, has a tough task ahead in what is expected to be a short period of time. Mr. Carney, who is set to take over from Justin Trudeau when he formally stepped down this week, will almost immediately face a confidence vote in Parliament after its reconvents on March 27. Federal elections in Canada are due in October 2025, but observers say Mr. Carney could call for snap polls first, hoping to ride a surge or unexpected popularity for the Liberal Party for standing up to threat made by the USA President Donald Trump since he took office. Mr. Trump has consistently targeted Mr. Trudeau, suggesting that Canada would be a better off as the USA's 51 state and has been threatening to impose a new slew of tariff, accusing Canada of unfair duty as well as allowing fentanyl drugs and immigrants across the border. Canada has threatened counter tariff and is considering a 25% surcharge on electricity export to the USA, with Mr. Carney claiming that in trade as in hockey, Canada will win. Mr. Carney, who is unelected and not a traditional politician, will have to convince voters of his ability to ensure that as he takes on his rival Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre, who has been far ahead in the polls until recent weeks. To that and Mr. Corney non-political skill will come handy. He was an economist and a central bank governor. That he was not a member of the Trudeau cabinet means that he is free of any taint from its action. The next Mr. Trudeau is cause for relief for India and an opportunity to resist ties that have been on ice. His intemperate decision to name Indian government agent and then expel Indian diplomats, implicating them in a purported plot to kill Khalistani activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar without proffering any proof was a miscalculation and diplomatic blunder. The action seen in comparison to more discreet dealing by the USA is in a linked case sent India Canada ties to their lowest ebb since the 1980s. It is significant that India is considering restoring a high commissioner to Ottawa while Canada is sending an intelligence chief to a conference in Delhi. Mr. Carney and Mr. Poilievre have made it clear that they would like to rework the relationship with India and there will be opportunities to do so, particularly in education, investment and trade, all of which have taken a back seat after the violence and schemes within India's diaspora community and is supported in Canada's government. The interlude is also a fitting period for New Delhi to consider now how it wishes to take ties toward regardless of the changes in leadership. The Khalistani issue cannot be wished away and requires sustained consider diplomacy and respect for each other's concern while ensuring India's national security priorities. Now your English. Now our English session is start from the archive. K. Subramaniam Upendran. Are you ready for the test? Well, I am not sure. I have butterfly in your stomach. Butterfly in my stomach. I am a vegetarian. I don't eat. When you say have butterfly in your stomach, it means you are nervous about something. It is an informal expression. For example, I can say I always get butterflies in my stomach whenever I visit the dentist. I have never been to a dentist, so I would not know. I always get butterfly in my stomach when I watch a horror film. Good example. By the way, you can either say get butterfly in the stomach or get butterfly, but are acceptable. So can I say I get butterfly thinking about the test? You certainly can, Sudha. For example, get. While we are on subject of Sudha, did she ask you to help her complete her project? She did, but I refuse point blank. Point blank, what does it mean? When you say something point blank, you say it very directly or even rudely without apologize and explanation. That sounds just like my uncle. Ha ha ha. Why does he point blank call you a fool? No, but the point blank refuses to listen to anything that I have to say. He is a very intelligent man. Haha, I don't find that funny. Sorry, here is another example with point blank. The minister denied the charges point blank. I don't think people believe that their ministers say and more. That's why these politicians get. Oh, how do you pronounce ousted? The OU sounds like the OU in house and mouse. It is this which has the stress, so it is ousted. That's correct. Do you know what the word means? Well, here, when you oust someone from his place, job, or position of power, you pause them to leave it, often by force or illegal means. For example, the principal was ousted from his job. Can I say the landlord ousted the tenants? You can, but remember, ousted is a formal word now. Please leave before you are ousted. Yes, sir. Published in the Hindu on September 26, 1995. So, guys, this is our daily quiz. The daily quiz: India defeated New Zealand by 4 wickets to win the 2025 Champion Trophy in Dubai March 9. Here is a quiz on all the times India has won the ICC trophy. Uh, Quiz made by Sindhu Nagaraj. Question number 1. The 1983 Cricket World Cup is which India registered its first ever win was also known by another name. What was it? Who were the runners up? Question number 2. In this tournament, India won the cup defeating Pakistan in the final. It was hosted by South Africa and the player of the series was Shahid Afridi. Which was this tournament? Question number 3. The 2011 ICC Cricket World Cup was hosted by India and which other country? Who was declared as the player of the tournament? Question number 4. So in this tournament, during the semi-final between India and Sri Lanka in England, individual, possibly Tamil youth activities run onto the pitch with flags of Tamil Elam and banners protesting against the Sri Lanka team playing in the UK. This happened during which ICC tournament? Question number 5. The 2024 Men's T20 World Cup was the first major ICC tournament to include matches played in which country? Who took the most number of wickets in the tournament? Question number 6. Which players scored the most number of runs and was also awarded player of the tournament in the recent concluded 2025 ICC Champion Trophy? Visual question: identify the tournament from this image. Who won the trophy? Though, guys, this is previous day quiz answer question and answer to the previous day's quiz. The capital of the country hosted the meeting in 2020 where the Communist Party of India was formed. Answer: Uzbekistan. Orch is the national animal of this former Soviet state. Answer: Moldova. This former Soviet state called the land of fire Azerbaijan. The flag of his former Soviet state despite the sun with 40 ray for 40 tribes in the region. Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. The name of the former Soviet state stems from the race white Russian. Answer: Belarus. Visual question: the burning gas crater is located in the country of Turkmenistan. Early bird who gives the answer is this, guys. Just so, guys, this is today one important vocabulary word is bolstered. It is a verb, Hindi meaning सहारा देना. To support or encourage somebody, something. Synonymous: strengthened, boost, and autonomous, oppose, discourage. The IF said that there was a need for India to bolster its technological asymmetry. So, guys, this is today video. Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for further more update and more video. Press bell icon for notification. We meet in tomorrow next video. Jai Hind.